In this lesson, we'll animate the neck and head. So let's start. We'll bring back our control curves and also show our graph editor. Okay, then we'll scrub back to the beginning of the animation and start. And at around this time, we're going to want to rotate the character's head up so he's not ramming it into the crate. So on about frame 48, let's go to the head control, and in the X, we'll rotate it up. And then with the neck, we'll do the same, rotate that up too. Great, so as the character is moving in, his head is moving up. And we're going to want to do this something similar to on frame 66. So let's do that. We'll rotate the neck up some, and the head will do the same. Okay, and when we do that, we do have tangency we can fix. So let's adjust this tangency on frame 48, and also on the neck control, the rotate X of the neck. Great, so now we'll get this nice flow. So the character's head is moving up as he's moving into the crate. And then to show more strain, to have the head reflect more strain, what we're going to do is as he's pushing forward, on about frame 104, we're going to want to rotate the head down in the X. So let's do that. Bring it down some, and the neck too. We'll bring that down. Not much at all. Great, so here's what we get if we go ahead and just hide our curves and hit play to see what we have so far. Great, so now character's head is really starting to show strain. It's moving down as he's pushing at the crate. And if we wanted to, we could make this movement look more like follow through. And we could do that by adding a pose where the head is up just prior to where it moves down, just to add more of an appealing look to it as it's moving down. So let's just select the head, go to frame 79, and rotate the head up. So what we get now is a nice feeling of follow through as the head's moving down, and we could check that out by hitting play. Great. So let's move on from here. Now he's about to rotate his body to his left. So before that, we're going to want keys on frame 123 of our character's head, in the X, and also in the Y, because we're about to rotate that. As he's rotating to his left, his head's actually going to rotate more towards the camera. And we'll do the same thing for the neck. We'll go there, and we'll not only key the rotate X and Y, but also the Z. Okay, we'll be keying all of those for the neck. So let's key them all on 123. Okay, and can check out our curves. So those are pretty much our first for the rotate Y and Z for the neck. Alright, so as the character is turning his body on 144, let's go to more of a back view. And with the neck selected, we'll bring it a little bit more to the character's right. Okay, then we can check that out in the Z. And in the Y, let's go there. We'll rotate it so that it's faced more to the camera, more towards us. And then we'll go to the character's head control and do the same thing. Rotate it more towards us in the Y, but also bring it up some more in the X. So here's what we get as we scrub through. Great. We can check out more of a back view too. Alright, great. Now as the character's moving down here, on about frame 156, let's make a few adjustments here, bringing the head up in the X. So bring that up in the X, and do the same for the neck. With that selected on 156, let's bring up the neck. Alright, great. And then as for the Y, could bring that a little bit more in to the crate. Alright, great. And then as we move past this, what's going to happen is the rotate Z of the neck, we're going to want that to move where it's a little bit straighter up, okay, closer to its default of 0. So on frame 163, we'll just go to the rotate Z and move it up. And here's the movement we get when we do. Great. Okay, so our head movement is really coming along. But now we come to this part where the character is intersecting with the crate. And if we also notice how his knee is doing the same thing to its intersecting. So we need to fix our center of gravity here. So let's do that. We'll start with the translate Z. And on about 162, let's go there and translate the character back in the Z sum. Okay, then we have tangency we can fix on 162 and 156. Then also on 156, let's go ahead and take this key and move it down so his knee is not intersecting. Okay, I think we could bring these two keys down some more too. Alright, great. But we do want the character moving in a little bit closer to the crate. So what we can do is animate the rotate X on about frame 161. So let's go there, go to the rotate X of the center of gravity and rotate the character a little bit closer into the crate. Then we'll fix the tangency. Okay. And we'll also want to go ahead and delay this key that's on frames 166. Okay, just to offset it a couple more frames so this pose isn't coming in that fast. So we'll just take this key on frame 166 and move it down a couple of frames to the right. So it now lies on 168. Great. Okay, now I think we could even adjust our translate Y. Let's go there, and at about frame, let's see, 167, as the character's moving up, let's have him translate up a little bit more here. And we'll fix our tangency. Okay, and notice we're getting this weird bend from frames 158 all the way to 167. So we can just select this key on 158, break the tangency, give it weighted tangency, and fix the right half. So we get a smooth flow as the character is rising. Great. Okay, now notice that the arm here is locking up, the right arm. So what we'll do is stop the lesson here, and in the next lesson we'll go ahead and finish up this section to wrap up the animation of the head.